line.
June has begun officially, which means that we are near summertime. And one thing the comics industry loves to do is put out some banger comics during the summertime. Everybody's, got some free time. Everybody's excited. We make it out to the comic shops, and these big two companies are keeping us fed, which is why there was absolutely no space on this week for indies. But we promise we will be having a great show, and we've got lots of books to talk about. To talk about these books today, we have Cale,
What's up, summer dogs?
Marco, and I'm Sean. Thank you guys for being here, whether you are live or in the future. We have
Count them.
six big books to talk about. We've got Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, number one, Imperial, number one, The Amazing Spider-Man, number five, uh, Marvel Knights, The World to Come, number one, which is the hot button topic of the week for sure. Absolute Superman, number eight.
Eight. Yeah.
Wow. And Absolute Green Lantern, number three. So, got some pretty big time series to talk about. Um, and we're gonna waste no time getting into them. Hayden's Hideout says Marco muted.
Hmm. Shouldn't be.
Marco muted?
Hmm. Luna seems to be suggesting the same thing, so maybe there is something to it. While Marco works on that, I'm gonna tackle this super chat that we got from Hayden's Hideout. Thanks for the $10, my friend. Hey pals, pick of the week, JSA number 8 by the awesome Gavin Guidry and Jeff Lemire 2, I guess. Governor pick of the week, Heatseeker number 1, Cedric Poulat variant. Honorable mention goes to Heatseeker cover E cosplay variant. Yeah, those Heatseeker books, those covers are for the Gooners. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Chat, is Marco audible again? We cannot begin the show in earnest without him.
Can you hear me?
Because we can't. Okay, Entertain Me says they can.
Okay.
Glitch in the Matrix.
And Oyabun says, I love the Marvel heavy episodes. I'm glad you feel that way, dude. I mean, you know, we've got a DC heavy audience, but we've also been called a Marvel podcast. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry about that, Kyle. We won't be talking about Gooners. It's just, Hayden's weekly Gooner pick of the week. Had to be done.
It's the Gooner check-in. We check in, we keep them at arm's length, but we let them know, hey, we're on to you. We're watching.
Yeah, exactly.
On your side.
All right. Let's talk about Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number one. This is written by Dennis Camp and Cody Ziegler, who is getting what I would describe as a bump up, being able to be a part of this particular book. But the art's from Jonas Scharf. More often you'll see multiple artists on a book than multiple writers. But Corey Pettit on the letters, and the colors are by Edgar Delgado. The framing of this, we already knew what it was going to be. Miles Morales was given a blank card by the maker way back in Ultimate Invasion, and Miles did nothing with it. And so Miles's young sister decided to grab it out of the garbage, and she got teleported into the Ultimate Universe, which leads Miles to meeting Peter and Richard Parker, the Spider-Mens of this world, and kind of getting the lay of the land as he tries to find his sister. You can kind of get the feel for what kind of story this is going to be, but the question really is, did you guys like it?
Thought it was solid. I thought it was solid. I think it ended up being a bit more than I sort of expected, but it at the same time it was also a bit less. Miles has this, dogged pursuit of finding his sister, but his sister is only one or two, it seems like. Very young child.
Yeah.
And then at one point, Miles says he goes to his house in the Ultimate Universe, and he says, "Well, this will be the only address she knows." And I went, "Hold on a second. You're telling me this 1 or 2 year old knows your address in what is it, Brooklyn?"
The city in general.
Right? That kid doesn't know how to get on a subway.
It let alone have a Metro card, an Omni
Come on.
card.
I thought it was fun, but I thought the sort of hijinks of Peter and Richard went on a little too long. Um, I think I was expecting this to just be a one shot.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
And so the fact that it continues sort of, it didn't put me off, but it certainly explained like the feeling of, oh, we're getting into a couple hijinks here. And I felt like Peter and Richard were inactive.
And I didn't necessarily mind that because that's like, we're here focused on Miles. And so I did like the hijinks. That felt fun to me. The opening scene where she just jumps into the trash can, Billy jumps into the trash can. I mean, I must have been in a silly mood because I had a lot of fun with these books. And that just felt a little irreverent. The same thing that you clocked, Cale. Like she knows where she lives here, right? A little irreverent. And so I think throughout the thing that I really thought was cool was the art. Um, it had this like thicker, very squared shading, and it particularly stood out when with Richard in the black suit contrasting with the white, like things were like etchy, and then also the Spot looking kind of horrific. Um,
I
very
like the
cool.
I like the design of the Spot.
Yeah. So I mean, this was a tight package. I thought he was even like a little like skeletal, kind of scrawny through like the thing. So yeah, I thought a tight issue. I did not expect much, and I think I've been down on Ultimate Spider-Man in general. So I kind of felt like anything related to that, associated to it, will not bring me as much joy. I brought the book close, and it brought me joy.
Uh, yeah, I'm mixed on this one because I had a good time for the most part. But it definitely doesn't feel important. And I thought that it would. I thought that this would be a critical story, and I know that we do get to see the lieutenants of the Maker, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they want access to whatever this power could be. They think maybe the Maker sent something for them to use, an object of some sort. Um, so that's kind of interesting, but there was not a lot of meat on the bone with the Peter, Richard, Miles situation. And I'm just not sure what the legs are for this. Like, I also didn't love the framing. Like, his sister getting into the garbage and getting um that card, like, it's very goofy. Irreverent is a good word for it, and there's definitely space for that. But I just didn't really get like, oh, you must read this out of this comic book. And that's what I thought I was gonna get.
Mm.
For me, like having that sort of, wild card of Miles turning down the Maker and then being forced to show up in the world for whatever reason should be like a crucial, like last minute, you know, um Deus Ex Machina type thing, right? In the massive fight against the Maker. And I think it will be, but that it just kind of happens and then he just kind of wanders around New York City is a little kind of a letdown.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's not epic. It's not epic, and they threw that in there in Ultimate Invasion, and it seemed as though that was going to be a big deal. Like when Miles finally decides to cross over, and when he meets the Maker again, that's going to matter.
Yeah.
And this is just not the way that I saw that happening. Um, it doesn't have heat for me.
Yeah.
Like enough of an impact in the overall story that we've gotten so far. Like it isn't driving to a point.
Yeah, like okay, what's the point of this, right? Like, is the point that Miles is going to realize, like, wow, there's this other world that and they really need our help and go back and tell the Avengers and maybe they come here? Um, what is the point? Why Miles? Why is he here? What is the reasoning for this? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it.
Why is he the chosen one?
Yeah, and I think go ahead, Gil.
Well, we know why he's the chosen one, right? It's just that this doesn't play on that.
Mm.
Yeah, like the explanation, it doesn't even really address anything as far as like Miles's history,
Yeah.
it doesn't get into that much. It explains over the first couple pages, but I don't know. I don't know. The Maker's not even here. So the whole point is for him to meet the Maker, I thought, again, but he's not here. Like, see what the Maker made, I don't know. Uh, I didn't care. I don't think I cared about this, honestly. I had fun, I guess, but like I didn't care.
It's sort of just another book in the Ultimate Universe that's just like, okay, well, here we are still reading this.
And if we get into this next issue, are we? I'm presuming we're beholden to the same month format, right?
Dude,
Whoa, I didn't
that
even consider that. Oh,
that would be so annoying.
Like, what even happens? You know?
This last page tease, which is really just that Miles has been caught by Ant-Man and the Wasp. If they don't follow up on that with like the next moment, I think I'm done.
Hmm.
Because what are we doing?
an interesting sort of meta tool would be for them to not do that, not do the monthly format because Miles isn't from here. And this is a book
Yeah.
about Miles. But
Oh, it's pretty consistent.
Banksy Main says y'all just ultimate haters at this point. I mean, look at the chat. There's a lot of people in the chat that agree with what we're saying. I mean, I don't ever consider myself a hater. I'm reacting to the material. I actually was really excited for this book. I don't remember if I chose it for my pick of the week on Pals previews, but
Might
I don't
have.
think I don't
No.
think he did. It was Imperial.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was certainly waffling.
Yeah.
And I was probably more excited about this book than anyone on the panel. And I've been loving Miles Morales' core story by Cody Ziegler. So I had nothing but good feelings coming into this. I'm
Yeah.
not the one to tag with the hater thing. And I don't think anybody on the panel is hating. I think we're reacting to the material. Not everything lights everybody on fire.
You can call me a hater if you want. Don't bother me.
I think I was just gonna say,
Please.
I think if you were hating, you wouldn't be making valid points. Your points are valid.
Listen, even a hater can be right twice a day.
Well,
And it's funny, like, this has both Cody Ziegler and Dennis Camp on it, but it like if we think that go by the old thing where the sort of, I don't know, junior quote unquote writer is doing like the dialogue and the scripting, and then like the more senior one is doing the broader plot. The junior being Ziegler The script here is really fun.
Yeah.
Like we say this a lot with Amazing Spider-Man. It's a solid story. Like there's no there's no real bad element to it. It's just there's no heat.
There's no heat, and we're just not making contact with it. Like where it needs to be for us is not the place that Hickman is, but he is for others, and that's fine.
In reference to like the Ultimate
Yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah,
book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, you know what? And I came into this not even thinking about. That's why I didn't think about. Oh, what if this skips? Until the next month. I came into this with no baggage as far as like negative emotions towards it, and I think the script is solid. It's not. The script is solid. The art is solid. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with this. I just was expecting it to be full of heat and excitement, especially if this is going to be ongoing, for a few months. By the way, imagine this little baby missing for multiple months.
Stop. That's so
yeah,
silly.
dude. Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
And why would someone said this in the chat? Forgive me, I don't recall who it was, but someone said Ultimate Spider-Man didn't even care to keep looking for this baby. And
Yeah.
by that I mean Peter.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yep. I caught that too.
That's crazy. Uh I'm not gonna pass. I'm not gonna say pass because I think the material is strong. Um, but I need a lot more. I need a lot more. The second issue has to hit hard, really hard.
Yeah. Pull I thought the character interactions were fun. I keep going back to the moment where Miles comes in, and it's just a cutaway to Richard and Peter, and they're just like, "Whoa, silly little moment, right? Fun." So yeah, pull for me.
Yeah, I especially because you two gave it a pull, I kind of want to give it a pass just because there's so little heat and the the movement through the book is so slow. But I don't know, like again, it's just fun. I think I'm gonna give it a weak pull. If you want a Spider-Man book, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
Soft-handed pull,
Yeah.
like Z handshake.
Rami Darwish is right too. That they were just straight up looking at people's apartments. That was creepy. Like, it's not. And I'm not gonna ding the book for it, but that was really a bizarre strategy.
And it wasn't even funny. like
Yeah, that wasn't funny, man. The more we talk about this book, yeah, that wasn't even funny.
like the first time I went, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. But then they kept doing it and come on.
Why would that be where the baby would be? Like, I definitely understand going to the apartment where where
Yeah.
Miles was in 616. Fair play. That should have been the one and only instance of them going to an apartment. Otherwise, that chase doesn't it's dumb. It's dumb. Very, very strange decision on their part. But yeah. Chat says 57% of you say pull. Didn't buy or read is 24%. Pass is 14%. And pick of the week is 3%.
That number's telling.
Okay.
Yeah, like yeah,
Wow.
yeah, fun enough.
Hmm. Yeah. Someone asked earlier how we differentiate between didn't buy or read and pass. And everybody has a different thought process behind it. Mine is if you read it, if you bought it but didn't read it yet, that would be your choice. If you don't intend to buy it, that would be your choice. If you read it and didn't like it, that's a pass. If you read it and liked it, that's a pull.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's pull and pass are I have read this, but I would or wouldn't recommend it.
Exactly. Maybe I need to change that up. I find that question comes up a lot. I don't know.
well, I think it's fair because like didn't read I think is also a gauge for excitement. Like if you're down for it,
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't get to this one yet.
Right. Yeah. Noodle Meat 1490 says this was so weird compared to how serious everything else is in the Ultimate line. And I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it felt like, especially with the apartment bits, it felt a little bit like they were trying to make Ultimate Peter have a bit of humor, and it just like it wasn't landing.
You know what's weird though is that this doesn't feel like a Dennis Camp or a Cody Ziegler script. Because
Hmm.
Dennis Camp definitely has a certain style that we've become accustomed to, and this doesn't feel quite like that. But then when you read a Cody Ziegler script, I mean, his Miles is pretty spot on. But I don't know. I don't know, man. This is an odd duck of a comic. But I stand by my poll. But this is an odd comic. I'm glad to see everybody here. Thank you guys for showing up to talk comics. Thank you for choosing us to be your review crew this week. Hope you guys are having a good week. Uh, we've got an announcement to make for next Tuesday. We're going to be having a little bit of a nightcap with Sasha from Casually Comics. That's going to be fun. We're going to be live with her, I think, at 9 p.m. Right,
Uh,
Marco?
15, I believe. I will
Beautiful. So
confirm just in case.
get your spirits, your wine, your whatever, and have a nightcap with us. It should be a good time.
Coffee,
Never
dude.
spoken coffee. Never spoken to Sasha before.
Yeah, same. I've popped in on a stream or two, like, and I commented on a video, so that's like the extent.
She's good at what she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her channel a lot.
Trying to think. I think I watched her video. I think she did a video on the Flash. Maybe it was Absolute Flash.
Uh,
She does, yeah.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Confirming 9:15, June 10th. Yep, next Tuesday.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I'm excited.
Same.
Figure drawing. Have you guys seen the trailer for the new Marvel fighting game? Yes, I at least have.
We talk about that later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Cool.
we can do that. Cool. Good call. And yeah, Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, we will be live. Hopefully you guys will join us. It's always a great time. The poll, the book club poll, Fantastic Four month is June, and so that is up now. Patrons at any tier can vote. And there are some pretty good selections. Fantastic Four by Hickman, Fantastic Four by Lee and Kirby, Fantastic Four by Wade and Waringo, Mark, sorry, John, oh my God, I'm having a fucking breakdown. Grant Morrison, excuse me, and Jay Lee
Whoa.
on Marvel Knights Fantastic Four 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry about that. So four great options. Make sure you guys get your vote on patreon.com/the comments pals.
3.5 good options.
Which one are you against?
Jay
Jay
Lee.
Oh, you
Lee.
don't like Jay Lee. Right. Have you ever read 1, 2, 3, 4?
I feel like I have, but every time it comes up, I don't think I have. I think I'm mistaking it for another Fantastic Four book, and I don't know why.
I have not read it. I didn't know it existed actually until recently.
I'm excited
But
because whatever it is gonna be brand new for me.
it's a beautiful place to be. Wait, you've never, well,
He only started reading comics yesterday, so
I was going to say you haven't read any Lee Kirby, but that makes sense. That's
Yeah,
okay.
no.
I think that's what's going to win, actually.
Lee and
Really?
Kirby.
Yeah.
No.
They got the
Wow.
most noms. It was by almost times two, the second most nom book.
Oh
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
I was really expecting, and the polls only started, but really expecting Hickman,
Same.
given that this is the Hickman fan show.
Yeah, no kidding. Like we're about to talk about Imperial, and I mean you can't say a bad word about Hickman on this podcast. Let me tell you what. Not, I mean, because of the chat, you guys really love that man, and I do too. No one's perfect. No one is perfect. Speaking of which, let's talk about Imperial. Let's see if it is perfect. So Imperial is written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Ivan Coelho and Federico Vincenti. So two really, really talented individuals. Colors by Federico Blee and letters by Corey Pettit. Very, very good creative team on this one. This was an oversized issue. Must have been at least it's 56 pages. Yeah, so that makes sense. Um, and it does a lot of exposition isn't the right word necessarily, but there is a lot of like sort of building what is happening here. The Hulk's son is dead. The Hulk's son died as the ruler of Sakaar, and not only him, but a number of leaders within the cosmic community have been killed. And so the Hulk has come really to investigate what happened to his son, but um, he brought some people along with him. And there's also Jay's son, the father of Star-Lord. He's involved, and a lot of characters, a lot of intrigue and mystery about who the murderers are, which we get an answer by the end, but I'm not sure I'm sold on that being true. Um, yeah, yeah. What did you guys make of Imperial?
Excellent. Uh, I wanted to start first with the you mentioned earlier, 56 pages for 6.99. Eating good. That's a good price nowadays. Uh, and I think the what I always get from Hickman is he does this kind of like regality really well. He's that I jive with so much from just the first few words. I was in the story, and it was something as small as like where even was it? What we are waging is no small sum, and the cost, if you should lose, just might lead to the end of you and yours. Okay, I'm integrated into the story via script, and then Vincenti, when we start to see the Hulks come in, hell yeah, cool. Love the designs, love the world, love the premise here, and I think he does a lot to set up what this is, and then when the cards do fall, it's exciting. There was a rush. There was an oh shit moment.
I actually, the oh shit moment didn't work for me. And I turned the page and went, oh, this is going to be this. And what it ended up being was something completely different. And it was kind of a letdown for me, actually. That moment, the oh shit moment.
Okay. Go say what it was. And
So
yeah.
I assume we're talking about the assassination and the reveal that it's a Wakandan sniper. Yeah. For me, on that page turn, I went, oh, it would be buck wild if it was Richard Rider. And I like that was just in the back of my mind, and it didn't happen. And it was literally in, like, it wasn't even an expectation. I had that thought literally on the page turn, and it wasn't him. And I went, oh, well, I like mine better. And it really genuinely, like, it really genuinely, like, the Wakandans in space or something I already am not interested in. And I went, okay, all right, we'll keep going, I guess.
Yeah, there were there were pros and cons to this for me. I like the feeling of it. Like I like the scope and scale. I think Hickman writes this kind of dialogue very well. Marco pointed out a great piece of dialogue earlier. And the book has, quite a bit of that. Um, I really like seeing Worldbreaker Hulk again. That costume, that vibe, that was really cool. Um, I think I'm probably less interested in space stuff than a lot of other people are when it comes to Marvel. I think I've learned that I prefer what DC does in space, and even that I'm not all that invested in. I'm more of an Earthbound person when it comes to the big two. Um, I just don't give a damn about Panthers in space. I don't. And like I'm sure there's more to it than just, than this is what the Black Panther than what Wakanda in space is about. I'm sure there's more to this. Probably maybe it wasn't even them, like someone wearing their armor or something. I don't know. But that doesn't, I don't care about that. I don't know.
Like it's good political intrigue. It sets up a good mystery, but I don't know if you're like, I don't even think you necessarily have to be paying attention to go, oh, well, this won't be a Wakandan, you know?
Yeah. Which is why as a reveal, I mean, look, stories are stories. You gotta tell the story. But as a reveal, it doesn't really play for me because I just don't think that's what it's not gonna end up being that in my mind. I need to see more. I need to
Mm.
see more. The first issue's fine. I see a lot of pick of the weeks in the chat, and I'm glad for you guys. I don't think this is my pick of the week. In fact, I'm sure it's not. But there were good bits.
Wow, I'm shocked. I thought this was gonna be unanimous, just like super hot fire. I think to what you guys are saying about the political intrigue, like I agree that the expectation isn't necessarily, at least in my mind, that this is a Wakandan, and they set it up earlier where, oh, they're kind of holding them at ransom because they know the position that they're in. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's cool. So this, as a consequence of that, is there's so many implications involved, and so like from there it's and as the book ends, right, it's war. So what does that mean for not only for uh on a on a level where Hulk gets involved, on a physical level, but the chess games that are happening, that's the part that I'm very curious about.
I think for me, the thing that really kills this is the Hulk aspect. It's
Hmm.
political intrigue, it's a mystery, but the Hulk being there really just pulls me out of it because it's like, okay, I know there's going to be some dumb superhero fights in this because the Hulk is there.
I wonder how they're going to handle that because, I mean, there are a lot of characters in space who are quite powerful,
Yeah.
but looking through this book, I don't see anybody who can stand toe to toe with the Hulk. So what kind of war is this about to be? Like, you go to war with the Hulk and you tend to lose.
Yeah. And I just I don't know. I really wish this the other thing about this is I really wish it had a focus character. Like we enter in with the Hulk and he's sort of our to the ground POV, but we're not really following anyone right now. And
We're just watching scenes play out. Yeah.
I think that's another problem with it. If we had a space Poirot or something that we were following around, I think that would be interesting. But this isn't it.
I hear that for definitely for like constructing a narrative around a character. I think these scenes happen made it feel a little more cinematic for me. But I hear what you mean by like where we're not following somebody. So like, who is the person that is meant to react to this stuff, right? It is only us.
Yeah.
We can't live that through a character. I hear that.
How was the art? The art is good, I think. Ivan Coelho and Federico Vincenti are no slouches at all. They are very, very good, and I think they deliver excellently. Again, getting to see Hulk in his Worldbreaker outfit is super cool. Federico Blee, his colors just really vibe with it. It almost feels like this is just the Marvel look now. These really like these purples and oranges and things and the greens that Federico Blee likes to play with. Yeah, the art's great. I liked it a lot.
I feel like these colors are very modern cosmic as well.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I had a lot of issues with. I like the designs of these characters, but some of the faces really bugged me. Like I'm looking at the page. I think it might be 37, where it's a page where Jason accuses the skull and the Kree, and the faces that Wiccan and Hulkling make at the bottom corner of that page, I think are just uh weird.
Trying to pull it up so I can see what you mean.
Marcos got it here.
Okay. Let me see.
And the book's just kind of full of that, and mostly it's alien, so it's not that big a deal. But there were a couple there that bugged me.
I did like the use of the panels. There were a lot of like these. You right across from that page, Kale, like 5 panels
Yeah.
to show collections of people, to show like factions and stuff.
Mm,
So I
mm.
did like what I felt like was the organization of the page.
I also think there were just some sick pages in general. Like I think this is a great page from a visual standpoint. I like the paneling, the
Yeah.
angular panels like that. Very, very cool stuff. I like the layouts. Both of these guys are willing to do things that might be off the beaten path when it comes to layouts. There's nothing insane, but you do get beyond your boring layouts occasionally. So I think the art was strong. And I do think this feels like something that I'll like a lot more in issue 2 and beyond. Just got to get past this.
The setup for all this.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know what's going to happen. Like, where is this headed? Um, Now, it is worth pointing out that there are spin-off books coming. We know about Imperial War Black Panther and Imperial War Planet She-Hulk. Those are coming in August. Now, the Black Panther one has been name changed, or the real name has been revealed. It's called Panther Rex, not Black Panther, but Panther Rex. And then in addition to that, we're going to be getting Nova, Centurion, Planet She-Hulk. Well, I said that one. Imperial Guardians, Exiles. So those are the four, or excuse me, five side stories, one shots that we're going to get, in addition to the 1 through 4 of Imperial.
Oh, that Black Panther reveal is interesting.
Yeah,
Panther Rex, you said?
Panther Rex.
Oh, okay.
Now,
So
yeah,
that says to me that an Atlantean could be behind this, and they're framing the space Wakandans.
because Imperius Rex is the like the Atlantean
It's like
war
Namor's
cry.
catchphrase or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some sick revenge. I
I,
am all about that.
and to that, the prologue and epilogue there, right? We have that underwater imagery, like the fish eating the thing. So maybe there's something to that. Yeah.
Well, here's the solicit. Blamed for the assassinations that have started an all-out galactic war, T'Challa will first need to survive a brutal attack from Worldbreaker Hulk and Amadeus Cho before he can even think about hunting down the true culprit. And all while his spacecraft spirals towards certain doom. Sounds like another day in the office for the Black Panther. So that's it right there. The solicit is telling us that it wasn't, at least wasn't him, but it probably wasn't even his people because he's trying to find the real culprits here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Leave it to Marvel to spoil their own books in the solicits.
Word.
yeah, I'm in for that. I think all that sounds great. I'm a pull on this, even if I wasn't blown away. I still enjoyed it enough to want to come back and see what else they're cooking with this.
The mystery and the political intrigue here is really interesting. I do wish there was a little bit more to hang on to. But this was fun.
This was my pick of the week. I had a lot of fun with this. The world, the universe, I guess even. So yeah, this was really cool shit. I'm very excited for issue 2 and even some of those spin-offs. Maybe not the She-Hulk, but the rest of those seemed interesting.
Yeah, I'm not all the way sure why we need a She-Hulk tie-in. I mean, she's already kind of ancillary to, I mean, not kind of, she's 100% ancillary to begin with. So I'm not sure why they're doing a tie-in for her, but sure, sure. Um, Marak Escuro says, hope this leads to a Hickman Black Panther book. Buddy, don't count on it. Uh, at least as it relates to the Imperial stuff, Hickman's doing his 4, and that's about it. And then they're going to move him on to something else. And I don't think that Black Panther as a character is up to the par for the kind of work they want Hickman doing right now.
Yeah.
Would I want to see it? Yes, absolutely. Silhouette. For a comic with 50 pages of story, I don't think Imperial had any surprises or mystery that makes me want to come back. Just a bit too predictable and expected.
Okay.
I don't know about expected necessarily. I can see predictable.
Like beats, right? Like the construction of things.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think predictable is necessarily bad. Um, but the surprises were definitely not. I don't know. There weren't. Yeah, I guess I agree. I guess there weren't any surprises.
Because what's the surprise? Okay, so Hulk's son is dead. We don't interact with him. That doesn't matter. It happens off panel. It's a inciting incident. That's
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yep.
So, but we don't really care about him, right? And then the Black Panther, the Panthers aspect, the Space Wakanda aspect, but nobody believes that. I don't believe that that was really them. And if it was some splinter faction, whatever. So between those two things, nothing explosive happens. So there
Yeah.
really aren't any surprises. Certainly none that matter. As like a reader, you're not like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Scar is dead. I didn't give a fuck about him before.
Whoa. Dr. Cobblestone wants to know if Imperial is good if you're interested in Nova. I don't, I mean, maybe it will be, but at the moment, not yet.
I wouldn't say anybody really was like no, if you're a fan of any character, there's no reason to buy this for them because no
Yeah.
one does anything stand out. And Hickman has talked about, his writing style. It's certainly more focused on the overall story and the bigger pieces than the individual characters, but I also think Hickman does great character work. I just don't think this was the issue for that. He had a lot of things to set up, and then we're going to get deeper and more granular, hopefully,
Yeah.
with the characters.
Yeah.
So 45% of you said pull, 29% said pick of the week. Didn't buy or read is 18%, and pass is 6%. Pretty favorable.
Yeah. Hayden broke those down. 29 pulls, 19 pick of the weeks, 12 didn't buy, and 4 pass. That was out of
Yeah.
64 votes. Wow.
Yeah.
Silhouette appreciative for the diversity of opinion. Thanks for understanding, y'all. I thought I was crazy for not loving Imperial. Amen. Oh, good. All love.
Exactly. The one thing you're never going to get here is bashed for your opinion. If you didn't like it, it's all good. All right. Amazing Spider-Man is up next. This is issue 5, I believe. Is it the last issue we're getting with Pepe Larraz for a little bit?
Yeah.
No.
Not sure.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That is a bummer. But
Story.
yeah, this is Pepe Larraz with Joe Kelly, Martha Gracia on colors, letters by Joe Caramagna. So Spider-Man's been fighting with Hobgoblin, and there's more of that, and there's more flashbacks, and that's what you're gonna get from this one. Um, yeah, go ahead.
Uh, this was the of all the issues so far, the weakest of them because it's wrapping things up. It is just the big, the big fight. Some of the flashbacks felt a little just like uh, inserted, like forced in. Some shoehorn is the word I'm looking for. And um, yeah, this did not knock my socks off as previous issues have, and so I was very excited to read this one. I thought, oh, another banger. I think anybody who saw Pal's previews would have heard that as well. But I think that's okay. We're wrapping up. We're closing out. We said what we had to in this book, especially in some of the other issues, and I'm ready for the next arc. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, overall I agree. I think the real standout here for this issue in particular is Pepe Larraz. Um the Hobgoblin is hella scary. Spider-Man is beat the hell up, and everybody just looks really good. Panel work is crazy. The motion lines are um you know insanely kinetic. um it's just fantastic. But as far as the plot, yeah, it's just like Marco said. It's sort of the end. And to be honest, as far as this goes, I don't really feel like we needed this issue. Like I sort of felt like we could have wrapped this whole thing up with the last one, but here we are.
Real quick, I just want to say thank you to the over 90 of you that are hanging out with us right now. Thank you for choosing us. Please do smash that like button
Smash it.
if you are enjoying the show so far. First of all, I could not get a cover A of this book to save my life. They had probably 50 copies of Amazing Spider-Man, and none of them, not one of them, was cover A.
What'd
What
what'd
what
you
is
get,
cover A and why?
Ray?
Cover A is that, yeah, the one Marco's holding up. They
It's
did
on
not
screen.
have that. Yeah, I
Wild.
don't know what was wrong with my LCS, but I was not happy with that. Another in a line of failures
Did you have
and
to
disappointments.
pay the variant cost?
No, that is something Marvel doesn't do.
Okay.
They don't upcharge on their variants. DC has done that as a way to make money. They've got the cardstock covers.
Mm.
So, um, this is the most nothing issue of this run so far. It was disappointing because I've been loving this. And it's not like this was a bad comic, but it's like it's just the wrap up. It's just the
Yeah.
wrap up. It's just that final little bit. There's no like really intriguing reveal. We don't actually learn. I don't know if we're supposed to question the identity of Hobgoblin, but we never see him. So that made me wonder, is this going to like are we going to see him again? Do we know this is just Kingsley and that's that and don't think about it? Like with Hobgoblin, there's always that question mark, and I don't remember if they've addressed it at all, but it certainly isn't addressed here.
Yeah, Osborne says pretty definitively that he's gonna beat up Kingsley. Uh,
Right.
so that doesn't necessarily mean that's who it is, but I think that's who we're supposed to walk away thinking it is.
Because I guess we did see Kingsley
Yeah,
earlier in the series. Well,
yeah.
be that as it may, Hobgoblin is one of my faves. He's very cool looking. I love the wings and the sword that got added to him a little over a decade ago, I believe. Very, very cool looking villain. This arc just ran its course, and this issue didn't have anything interesting to say. And so now we just have to get to the next one. That's all. I really would pass on this, quite frankly.
Oh, interesting.
Because it just like as pretty as the art is, it's Pepe Larraz. You know what you're gonna get. We saw him drawing Spider-Man versus Hobgoblin last issue. Um, it was kind of cool to see Hobgoblin hallucinating. That was interesting. I did like that. I like that they addressed the shakiness in the relationship between Aunt May and Peter, but it sort of was all so clean that it's just resolved clean. I would have liked a little bit more of a hanging thread for some of this stuff.
Like a consequence, a growth point.
Right. Like, what was the point of seeing all those flashbacks if, like, what lesson did Peter learn from all that?
Yeah.
Maybe that's an ongoing mystery. I don't know.
No, I think there was room to for that to be addressed because it really was just like, hey, you were on drugs. I saw the report. Don't scare me like that because you'll push me away. And he's like, oh, I won't do that. Hug.
I don't. I'm thinking about this, and I don't think the purpose of the flashbacks were necessarily totally about Aunt May. Like that was a well-rounded like we say, consequence of the pain point there. But I think in this issue, what we see is that even though Peter's not allowed to hang out with his friend, his inconsequential friend whose name I've completely forgotten, uh, he still defends him from bullies, and he still shows up, and they're still like tight. So I think there's something else. Like I think that's what we're supposed to come out of the flashbacks with. The Aunt May stuff was just sort of more of an a nice lesson for him to come out of. His pain point.
Yeah. I mean, the dialogue at the end with Aunt May suggests that, she's worried about Peter on a deep level. Um, and I like that. I like that. His reaction is to tell her, I'm sorry I scared you. I'm not going to push you away. I can't lose you. You're a great mom. That's a very wholesome moment, and I got no problems with that. It's just not dramatic. So I'm thinking about what's the dramatic through line here. And yeah, we haven't resolved the thing with the friends, so I am still on the hook with that. Um, I'm interested to see where the next arc goes. So we know Black Cat's going to be involved. So that's nice. I would really love to see Pepe Larraz drawing Black Cat, but
Yeah.
beggars can't be choosers.
But alas, damn.
Yeah.
JRJR next, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Might be out of the next arc, guys.
Ooh, really?
I can't. It doesn't do it for me. Can't.
I love JR. JR. But I will say this. Whenever he would leave Amazing Spider-Man and like Ed McGuinness would come on, that was really cool and exciting. The fact that he has been laid off from not laid off, but like he's been working on these issues presumably for some time gives me hope that we'll get the best version of Junior Junior, and that I'm in for. At his best, I still love his work. So we'll see.
I want to address this question from Izzy. Since there are so many interstate and international pals now, I'd love to know the breakdown of Aunt May versus Aunt May. I
Mm.
say Aunt May.
No, you don't.
Do Aunt
You had to
May?
think about it, you cheater.
Well, because I was thinking like how do I say it, and then I said
It's
it.
Aunt May. No, you don't.
Aunt May.
No, you don't.
I hate this question because I have an aunt who's very like critical to my life. So people have always asked me like, "Oh, how do you say it?" And then as soon as someone asks me that, I have no idea how I say it.
That's what
And then
I.
I'm very like cognizant of like, well, how do I say it? Is it aunt or aunt? What is it? I don't know.
For me, it's always been Aunt.
Hmm.
Aunt Karen, Aunt Linda, Aunt May.
Yo,
I think I say aunt. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I could literally rewind the video back 2 minutes when I just said
Yeah.
her name. I wasn't thinking about it, but yeah, that's a
ET.
funny one.
ET.
Steve Canaris, Thea May.
There it is.
Uh, I want to address this question. Hayden's Hideout asked, did this arc make enough progress for you pacing wise? Curious how the pacing would feel if Amazing was monthly instead of every other week.
Mm, it's a good question. I don't think that you can read Amazing Spider-Man anymore expecting this progress thing people talk about. I just really don't think that's the agenda. The agenda seems to be tell strong stories as strong as you can that don't necessarily shake the trees. Zeb Wells' run was amazing to me. It progressed its own story, but not like the bigger story of Spider-Man. I think if you didn't read Zeb Wells' run of Spider-Man at all, that's fine. But if you didn't read Dan Slott's run on Spider-Man, and like that wouldn't be fine because there were so many things that happened to him during that run that you kind of need to know.
Yeah, I felt like this had a good pacing for the story it was telling. But yeah, if you're looking for character shaking stuff, I don't think you're gonna find it here. But I do, and I've said this through our reviews of this series. I do think the little glimpses we get um, backward are really interesting.
That was the best part of the run to
Yeah,
me so far.
yeah, that's where the real meat is. I think.
Did we say our takes? I'm a pass on this one.
I'll pull.
I think this was my pick of the week.
Whoa.
Hey,
I listen. I wasn't crazy about this week in comics.
Yeah,
me neither.
the strongest.
I couldn't even I can't get to JSA number 8 by our best friend Gavin Guidry until Saturday. So
Yeah, I wanted to read it, but I didn't get around to it.
Get that queued up. Sean, you said pass, right?
Yeah, yeah. The chat was favorable, 55% pull, 32% didn't buy or read, passes 6%, and 6% say pick of the week. So that's pretty favorable.
yeah, that's still solid. That's 27 pulls, 3 pick of the week, 16 didn't buy, and 3 pass. Thanks again for those numbers, Hayden. Um, solid. It's just, I mean, look, it's Spider-Man. It's good.
Yeah, Banksy, this is you didn't light me on fire, and I'm going by how I feel. And like I've loved the run so far, but this particular issue just didn't do anything for me.
And again,
Um,
we sort of expected that. Like this is the last issue of this arc. So like it's not like it was, and don't let me speak for you here. It's not like it was bad. It was just kind of the end.
yeah, yeah, like it doesn't shake my faith in the series.
Yeah.
I'm just as excited for the next one as I was before I read this, but Super Chicken says, feel like I might be the only one totally loving Absolute Green Lantern. Well, We'll talk about that in a little bit. We've got one more Marvel book to get through, and then we will get into the DC books for you guys. So let's tackle The World to Come, number one. Everybody's hot button book this week. This is the book that people cannot stop talking about because there is a lot that happens. Now this was 5.99 at 40 pages. So I guess does that math, Marco? What do you say?
I'm sorry, I was updating my sheet. What did you say?
I said well 690 5.99 at 40 pages. How do you feel about that?
Bucks. Less than Imperial, but not, still not terrible. Like it's good value, I think. The
I was
contents
looking at
is
my yeah. When they rang me up this week, dude, I said, "How?"
yo same.
Yeah. I wonder how many books you got. We'll have to do your stack too, but
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened to me? What did I anyway." So this is Christopher Priest and Joe Quesada. It's a very good team.
Yeah.
And if they teamed up, big names now, if they teamed up to do something 20 years ago, that would have been insane. Colors by Richard Isanov and letters by Richard Starkings. Tyler Smith also with some lettering help here. And so this is a really big book. It moves a lot. And one of the first things that I think is important to establish is that from what I can gather, this is not in continuity. So whatever happens here is not of consequence to the rest of Marvel outside of the Marvel Knights section. I want to say that because there are a lot of people going absolutely crazy about the end reveal. And I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying that, everything within its own context. All right. So this book is largely a history lesson. It gives you the history of this version of Wakanda. It goes many, many years in the past. I think like 50 plus years at some point in the past.
Boy, it
Um,
was tough to tell.
yeah, yeah. And then at the very end, there's like a whole there's a whole like timeline,
Yeah.
which wasn't helpful at all. Like I'm not
Nope.
even sure
Yeah.
why I didn't give a fuck about that.
Like the format of it was just like paragraphs and blurbs, not helpful.
Like, what am I supposed to do with this? But yeah, everything that happens here, dialogue is fine. Art is, I thought, was very good. I love what Joe Quesada does. But ultimately, it all comes down to Black Panther and his son having a fight to see who's going to rule things. Just like in the movie when Black Panther faces off with Killmonger in that ritual. It's a very similar idea. And Black Panther's son wins. And then he reveals his face. He takes off his mask. If you are not ready for a spoiler, you need to leave or at least, turn away for a moment because this man took off his mask and revealed that he is in fact the White Panther.
Hey yo, I genuinely I was like, oh shit, New 52 Aquaman, what's up?
That dude's so wide, I looked at him and went, "Eh?
Right.
Could I?
Hey,
I'm the
listen,
Black Panther?"
it gives hope to all the young white boys in the world who don't have any other character to associate themselves with. Now they have one in the Black Panther.
I can finally cosplay the Black Panther.
There
Finally.
you go. There you go.
Uh I I felt like I was getting bounced around with this book and
Yeah.
not in a way that I enjoyed. 16 years, then 8 years, then another 16 and 15 before that. Um, and I was trying to understand the point, especially considering it was like a story being told to me, being unfolded. But by the third, maybe even the second time jump and long winded introduction into it, uh, I just felt uh like I was being regaled by an old man who was like forgetting his place every once in a while, and it felt tedious.
It's weird because I actually I dug this script. I like Priest. I like the words. I love the art. But they chose a storytelling device that just did not work for me, man.
Yeah.
They should have played it straight. All I really needed to know was Storm died. This motherfucker's, in grief over that. The world kind of sucks, and his son doesn't fuck with him. That's all I really needed to know.
Yeah. And somewhere in between the world sucks and his son doesn't fuck with him, he's trying to make a son. And that's this book. Like he's in search of an heir or whatever, and apparently it's the kids in the hall.
Man, did you guys like this or not? I really want to know.
I didn't, to be honest. It didn't jive with me. I think it was because of the storytelling, the device.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. To Chad, that's so fucking funny.
Good shit, CW.
um, I I really I felt like I followed the bits where we were with the T'Challa that we know, right? Um, if he was older or if he was a little younger, I felt like I was in it. I was vibing with it. Okay, I know who this is. I know his struggle. Sweet. Um, but then yeah, like we were being bounced around, and then there's in the future they're in Oklahoma for some reason, and then there's also like this biblical event in the middle of it, that you have to do all this math to kind of figure out where we are, and it just really affected it.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot in this issue. It's hard to know how much of the information is necessary and how much of it is Priest just kind of waxing. And I'm not opposed to Priest waxing necessarily, but the jumping around for me just didn't help. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't care about the reveal in the sense that it doesn't bother me. It's comics, it's a story. Let's see what happens. I'm sure Priest has a good reason to introduce a white kid as the Black Panther. Knowing how much controversy that would generate, I got to imagine that Priest and Casada both are ready to take it on and have a conversation. I'm all down for that. I just don't think this book benefits from the wacky framing of it. I just don't.
To that point on the end, I was seeing some of the conversation on the Discord about the reactions to the reveal. And so I didn't know what to expect. I just saw like, oh, there's discourse around this. Okay, surely somebody, put their foot in their mouth or whatever. Who knows, right? I get to the end. I'm like, oh, okay. What's the hubbub? Let the man tell his story. I don't give a shit. And not only do I not give a shit, but why would this have an implication? Oh, I'll find out if I care enough to read the next issue.
And like you could, sorry, Luna, I'll get that up in just a moment. You could imagine that in Wakanda, this will be a big deal.
Yeah.
You can imagine the kinds of conversations that this will generate. And I want to read those conversations. And Priest is the guy to do that. 100%. Everything we're saying is not a condemnation of Priest.
No.
I just wish they would have played it straight.
Yeah. Pseudo Panda says the white Black Panther is real. While I don't have a problem with it, but feel like there could have been a story about racism, and anyone can be a hero beyond your race and identity. The thing is, we don't know what the story is yet outside of the Black Panther needed an heir. And the surprise reveal is that it's a white kid. So we don't know what the story is. And with all this jumping around, like I have to imagine it's probably not going to be that either. And I feel like that story is probably a little below Priest at this point.
I really hope that they drop that gimmick after this issue. The bouncing around.
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
And it's worth pointing out, like Priest's they talk about Priest's run on Black Panther, his initial Marvel Knights run. This ties into that, and so if you've read that, there's more for you here. Presumably, I guess this probably just keeps the same continuity as that. So very cool, and
Uh,
it makes me sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, by the way, that was Priest Ed Joe Quesada in
Oh, I didn't
98.
realize Casada was on the art on that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I just looked
insane.
it up. Yeah.
Oh, I got to read that. I haven't read that.
I think that's
Wow.
the Black Panther run. So yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. You know what? I'm a pull. I'm a pull. As frustrated as I was by the jumping around, what I could grasp and hold on to was interesting.
Hmm.
They did something bold with that reveal. I am so tired of heatless reveals and like just a lack of balls in comics. Like, yes, give us a white Black Panther. What do you have to say with that? If you feel something about that, if that makes you feel something, good. Buy the next one and see why Christopher Priest chose to put that in your face. And I know we've got some black people in this audience. I'm telling you guys, read this. Don't prejudge it and say, "Oh, that's some bullshit. That's that Ryan Gosling." No, give it a chance. Give it a chance
That's that Ryan Gosling.
because now he can finally play the Black Panther.
Of course.
Stop.
Hayden says, not the first time Priest created a white Wakandan. He also created the White Wolf, the white adopted brother of T'Challa.
Which was Winter Soldier's nickname, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, in the
Yeah.
films.
Yep. Tetris.
Yeah. So let's end this poll. And after we end this poll, I really want to read the comments and see what you guys are saying because this is a big hot topic and I know a lot of people have strong opinions, so let's get into it. 54% of you say poll, 21% pass, didn't buy or read, 19% pick of the week, 4%. So that's actually pretty good.
It's not bad. Pretty even. Yeah.
Nice.
The one call out that I thought was odd because it hadn't been presented anywhere else. Maybe no, yeah, it hadn't been presented anywhere else. Was when in the middle of the fight, uh, the Black Panther picks his son back up after saving him from going over the waterfall, and then they have the little asterisk about like pronounced Katoma. Um, so that part was interesting because it threw me off reading it over, especially with the end bit because it's like this person's integrated into the culture, right? So, uh, uh at that point, is the book and I'm curious about this from you guys. Is the book here tackling the racism that he becomes the new king, or the colorism, the light versus
I
dark? All right, yeah.
Yeah, so the next issue, right, is called the next issue was teased and it is called Wakanda in Black and White.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure they're going to deal with that.
Mm.
And I can't answer your question because I don't feel like this issue really dives too deeply into any of that material, but that's certainly where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Um, Pseudo Panda says, I really don't mind Black Panther comic tackling white guy having the mantle. The idea is interesting, but it comes down to execution and subjective colorism, excuse me. Yeah, got to let it play out.
See where that's out.
Isn't that what Triple H always says? Let the story play out. That's what we have to do.
Oh, you're asking the wrong people.
I know. But we've got some wrestling heads in the audience, at least. Well, hopefully, we'll get it. James Jones, as a black guy, I'm not offended but intrigued. But again, I am a big Priest fan.
And Sean, you said pull Cale pass.
I think I am a pass. Yeah.
Pass as well. The framing was hard to get work my way through, and if it happens again, yeah, I'd be out on this personally.
Yeah, that the framing was tough. That was tough. I hope they don't do that again. Entertain me. I didn't think about racism in this besides the part that claimed that Storm died in the race war.
You know what? for for a minute, I forgot that racism was real against people of color, and I went, "Oh yeah, mutants and humans, of course."
That smacked me in my face for some reason. Like Storm died in the race war. Like what happened here?
Sure.
Jesus Christ. Who like which white powered people killed Storm? Who turned coat? Tony Stark? Like who just said, you know what? Now's the time to let my racist flag fly.
He was
Damn.
Thor.
Wow. Thor's a god for all people.
Is he?
Well,
Yes, all humans. You think
Nah.
he's only a god for white
Well, but
humans?
Storm ain't human.
mutant.
Oh fuck. All right. I hope it's not Thor, dude. Thor. I would invite Thor to the cookout. He would contribute nothing from a food standpoint, and he would drink all the beer. But it'd be fun
Mm,
for him to be there.
yeah. Do you think he would? I feel like you put him on cooking, right?
Can he cook?
You use the lightning,
Oh,
No, no, no. But
and the way you like your meat.
I
we
Come
need
on.
that shit
Yeah.
hit by lightning. Yes.
we learned from SpongeBob you can't use magic to cook a burger.
Oh, that's a great point. That
Hmm.
is a great point. But again, that's the way Sean likes it.
Hell yeah.
The that one out of pocket moment where it's like, one his new wife Monica had to look at day after day the shrine that he built her.
That was fucked up.
That was crazy. And she's just there. That was a scene that I thoroughly enjoyed because I did like the way that the page was constructed, and where she's just like just idly wondering, T'Challa, where my shrine will be built and if your next wife will be forced to look at it. So funny, so good.
Yeah, there's some top-notch dialogue in this. This is the only
Yeah.
book this week that I felt like, damn, I wish I could read this again. Just to see like what more I can get out of it and stuff. Like our review, maybe didn't even do this book justice. And I
No.
think we're hung up on the framing and stuff like that. I do think this is a pretty good comic.
Yeah, I think if we had time to read this again, I think this would work out more favorably.
Rand says, still think the son will turn out to be Shanna the she-devil of Savage Land or Black Widow's daughter.
Well, why the son will turn out to be Shanna the she? Okay, why would it be Shanna the she devil of the Savage Land?
Or even Black Widow's daughter. Daughter? Who's Black Widow's daughter?
I
What do you know that I don't, bro? Is this a girl? Who's Black Widow's daughter? Who are you talking about? I'm confused, Rand. Smarten me up. We got $5 from Maramoth Haunts. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you showing up and supporting this week. Which DC heroine do you think Matt slash Daredevil will bone?
No,
Wow,
no,
that's
he
some
said
question.
Dre Devil actually. So
Who's oh
so Dr. Dre as Daredevil. Um,
Jesus Christ.
so I personally thought Nightwing. I know it says heroine, but I'm gonna subvert that and I'm gonna say Nightwing.
cross universes, cross the stream, as it were.
Hey,
You think Matt chases the big fatties,
That's right,
the
dude.
donks, the
Donks,
wagons,
the BBLs
the wheat cakes?
So we talking Nightwing, we talking I mean the Flash.
runs all the time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Did
saying.
you look at the Heroes in Crisis panel of the dual Wallies or whatever, and how people
Yeah.
have like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah,
what
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
happening with that
That's
man's
what I'm
butt?
saying. Yep.
Cheeked up.
Crazy, double cheeked up. Uh, what's the straight answer? I mean, what's the real answer to this question? Jesus
Wow, the
Christ!
real answer, Sean. Holy
On
shit.
in
In
Pride
Pride
Month, you
Month,
say this?
yeah,
Wow.
that was nuts. Excuse me. Uh, uh, I don't know.
Daredevil and DC. Power Girl, easy. Not that Power Girl's easy,
Right.
Whoa.
Jesus, we're just sticking our
but
feet in our mouths today.
Damn. Clean shaven too?
no.
See, I would say Big Barda if Big Barda were single.
Why does that have to stop him? Why does that have to stop her? It's Pride Month.
Shit. All right. Well, hey, fair enough. If it's fair game for her, get it in.
Hey, come on. Oh, that's a great point. Entertain Me says if Matt Darrow gets with someone, it's gonna be Talia. Talia Al Ghul.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
absolutely.
Go brainwash him.
Huntress? What do you guys think of that? Nah.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Hmm. Hey, Matt Fisher, I see you, brother. How you doing, man? How you doing? It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I see you. I see Matt Fisher every single week on Solomonster Stream dropping these bombs of super chats all over that podcaster. And over here, he's talking about some. What do you say? Just stop. He's already dead. What do you mean? Who's dead? Who's dead?
He said feet in our mouth when Tyler isn't here.
All right. All right. We've had our fun. Let's get into the absolute DC portion because those are the only DC books that we can talk about on the show, apparently. Absolute Superman, number 8. This is written by Jason Aaron, with art by Rafa Sandoval, colors by Ulysses Ariola, and letters by Becca Carey. So, in this issue, we see a little bit of Ra's al Ghul. We get kind of an idea more of what he's about, what his interests are. We didn't really know a ton about him before this, so we do spend a few pages with him. Lois Lane is on the hunt, trying to locate Superman, finds him, but she's not the only person that finds him because one of those Omega people, one of the Omega men found him, and so did Peacemaker, the main Peacemaker of this world. I think his name is Smith, J. Smith, something. We get a really cool fight scene between Superman and Smith, where we learn that there is usable kryptonite here, and they use it against Superman, which was interesting to see. Um, this was actually my pick of the week. This was my pick of the week, and the reason is because it felt like it moved a lot. It it's maybe the end of the arc. Um, it feels a lot more substantial than Amazing Spider-Man did.
This is the beginning of the arc.
Right.
Excuse me, the beginning. Yeah, the beginning of the arc. It literally says that on the cover. My bad.
A new
Um,
story.
but it did feel like it really moved. And I was pretty pleased with that. I like the pacing of it. I really liked the fight scene. I thought that was excellently done and drawn. Um, I'm interested in what's going on with Ra's al Ghul. I don't know if I love this version of him. It's the almost the exact opposite of the way the character's portrayed in mainline. Um,
He's fucking crazy. That
yeah,
opening scene, wild. I saw the baby like come out of the goo and I laughed. So I'm like, that was so random. And he's like, oh, he wants an air. He wants the little sound effect played in my head.
I wish we could play that sound effect right now because that is hilarious. Um, is Mikey J here? Because Mikey J teased me on in our comment section about he said, what did he say? He said, what do Michael Jackson and Ra's al Ghul have in comic? Or in common, excuse me. And I was like, what could that even mean? And what it means, if you remember in the 2000s, Michael Jackson held his baby, I think it was Blanket, out that
Blanket.
damn window.
Yeah, dude, Blanket. South Park made fun of it. That's such a good episode. Holy shit. I haven't thought of that in a minute. What?
Yeah, dude. And so when Mikey J said that, I was like, what do you mean? And then I read this issue and I was like, oh my God. What bothers you more, if anything bothered you at all? Uh Ra's al Ghul tossing that baby or Batman kicking the little kid in Absolute Batman?
This one, dude. It was
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
this was
Yeah.
heavy.
crazy. And the reaction, they didn't show the fall. It was an interesting point to accentuate only the after fallen part, right? So that it felt like so they can, insinuate, oh, that didn't happen. Off panel, he got picked up by a bird or something.
And this was not played for humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Matt Fisher with the 1999. Thank you, my brother. Says, "Hey
Oh,
Sean, yeah, I dropped it. I dropped it in some on Jason and JD, but you're the only comic channel for me, besides Comic Pop and Weird Science. This was dope, Absolute Superman. If not for what's UW this week? Ultimate, what, I don't even know. This would be pick of the week.
Oh, Ultimate Wolverine.
Oh, okay. Ultimate
oh
Wolverine. I
yeah.
haven't read that yet.
That's a pick that.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul here is Vandal Savage.
Yep.
Okay.
I almost would have preferred it were I'm Vandal Savage out after mainline Batman, but because Vandal Savage is exactly like this,
Yep.
why take Ra's al Ghul and just swap him into Vandal when you could just use Vandal?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand. And again we kind of talked about this. I think the last time we talked about Ra's al Ghul. Um, it's interesting that he's pivoted to Superman. Like I think that's an interesting combination. But to see the fact that he may just be a match for him, like that's not interesting.
Yeah, I thought it would be like he would have to use his resources and maybe he's got someone powerful in employ or something like that. But for him to just be a rich, powerful douche is like, all right, whatever. Whatever. The League of Shareholders.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not compelling. I'm not feeling a fear, and I'm not also feeling like he has this influence, sure, throughout the world, but we've seen how he deals with his goons. Those are the ones that get that dispatched to deal with Superman. Any confrontation is going to be seemingly inconsequential. The Brainiac versus Superman is more interesting than this.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. We'll see how the ratio of it all plays out. I know that we only got a couple of pages, so he's not the immediate threat, which I'm fine with. I'm gonna be honest. On dropping the baby, it it feels like cheap heat. And that's a wrestling term that means when you do some, like if you were in Wisconsin and you go to Wisconsin and you say, oh, the Wisconsin cheese sucks. and then everybody goes boo. It feels like something you would do that's like, yeah, everybody would hate for you to kill a baby. So you do that to put heat on Raish, but it doesn't for me that doesn't work. It was just like I don't like I don't care that he did that. I just don't like it. It's just lame.
Well, and the fact that like the first thing he does, like when he's on the phone with, shareholders during a meeting or whatever, is he's like, I'm gonna kill these people on the phone and you're gonna listen to it. Wow, look how bad I am. It's like that's not interesting.
Right.
It's shorthand.
It's so over the top.
Shock value is a great way to put it near, yes. It's shock value. And I think I'm past that in comics. Like unless there's meat on the bone. You show me a white Black Panther, that's shock value.
That's shock value.
But there's some meat there.
Yeah.
This is just
Yep.
let's kill the baby.
Well, even the Brainiac stuff in the last issue, like I would say there's shock value in the stuff that happened there, but it's like it's an interesting commentary on what's come before with Brainiac, and it's an interesting twist on his relationship to Superman.
Right.
Whereas,
And yeah,
please,
go ahead.
please.
I was just gonna say, in the Brainiac case, it's an interesting flip on Brainiac. Like it's a
Yeah.
compelling, different look at the character. Thanks, Matt Fisher. Dropped another 199 on us. Says, I figured I'd drop another 199. Appreciate you. I liked everything else in this issue a lot, though. That's why it's my pick of the week. I liked everything else a lot. I like this version of Superman who, he gets really angry. Like he's pretty pissed off with what Lazarus has done to him and to his family and to Smallville and everything like that. I like Lois, her journalistic and not journalistic, but like, yeah, journalistic. She's following the story,
Hmm.
but she's also following this man who has intrigued her because of how unique he is in this world and what he could mean for the world and his existence is almost changing her. It's causing her to ask different questions and look at her company Lazarus differently. So I like that. I'm in on that stuff. The Omega Men, we don't really know a lot about them, but okay, cool, they're interesting. um and the art's great. I had a lot of fun with this.
Have we seen that tornado suit before?
So it looked like it felt like a new move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like he unlocked a new move.
I felt like that was wasted.
You know what, I agree, because they did two things at once. They did the tornado move, but then he also gets this costume,
Well,
which
see,
I
yeah,
felt.
I thought that's what that was. Yeah.
I think he could have. Those two things could have been separated. Like
Yeah.
he could have done the cool tornado move, but then this costume flip could have been for some other reason down the line.
Or at least we never see the costume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Did anybody else notice that the head peacemaker's wearing? I mean, it at least reminds me of sort of like what Brainiac wears,
Mhm.
but also what Lex wears in mainline.
Oh, like purple.
He's
Yeah, purple
he,
suit stuff.
he was just being operated on by Brainiac.
Right.
Uh I guess it would have been issue 6.
Yeah, because he got shit on.
Yeah, tore up.
And then the end leaves Lois in an interesting place where now she's surrounded by the peacemakers and helped Superman escape. So
Mm.
she's in trouble.
Cole says his mom wore the full armored suit like that in the flashback in 3 or 4. Okay.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
that's probably
that's
why
true.
they didn't focus on that.
Yeah. Entertain me with the $5 says normally babies/children being killed is something you see in a Batman comic, but not a Superman comic. Race wants a son, not a daughter, so no Talia?
Yes. Good point.
Luna had posited an interesting theory where maybe he already has a daughter and it's Talia, and she's the leader of the Omega Men.
I like that.
That's cool.
Warring factions.
I think that's a very good idea. And I think it's highly likely.
Primuses. Oh,
Pick of the week for me.
uh, pull. This was weaker. Similar to I think Spider-Man. I've been up. I've been up and down on this one, but I think overall trajectory is still strong. But I think this is a weak pull for me.
I guess I'm gonna say this is a didn't buy or read for me, just because like I wouldn't be reading this. Like I'm not for this series. I'm not here for it. I don't want to say pass because I didn't not like it, but I just don't. I'm not interested in it.
You wouldn't be reading it if you didn't have to,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
All right.
Like it's done uh uh the business in the first few issues. So
Well, I don't
I
have that
feel that.
metric, Kale. So give me a pass or a
I
pass or
guess
pull.
if it's binary, pass.
Thank you.
Oh man. Let's get the poll wrapped up here and see what the people say. 48% poll, 28% pick of the week, didn't buy or read is 15%, and pass is 6%. Okay.
Overwhelmingly positive. Okay. All right.
Mm.
See you people.
I think this book has been consistent. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yes, Super Job. Super Job said, "Is Race the JBL of the ultimate of the absolute universe?" Yes, absolutely. The next thing we're gonna see Ra's al Ghul do is go to the border of Mexico and start preventing people from crossing it as a way of getting heat. That is something that really happened on WWE television in 2004, 2003. They had a guy go to the border of Mexico allegedly and kick people and run them off.
From the border. What the hell? To
Yeah.
be
That
like a villain?
Yep. To give him cheap heat.
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Just straight up racist. Like, okay. And I'm not even criticizing that because that bit, as racist as it was, it worked because it made you hate him. It made you hate him. But yeah, can't really do things like that anymore.
I'm getting called out in the chat by CW Gordon. Oh, I think it just got deleted.
Coward. Call him out.
It was
Wow.
it was Marco providing a binary choice during Pride.
Ha!
Wow.
Good.
Nice, nice. Oh, JBL goose stepping in Germany. Yeah, that was brutal. What are you gonna do? It's wrestling, brother. Uh,
Not the headphones.
no, not the
I'm
headphones.
like,
The wrestler,
okay.
John Bradshaw Layfield.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we've got Absolute Green Lantern left on the docket today. Before I talk about that, though, I forgot to talk about the poll, which, as you guys know, is the way
Mm,
that you get a book on the show. We have 5 spots that are
count him.
carved out every single week, and then one goes to you guys, and that one is decided via the poll, which you can find under the post tab on our YouTube page. The last poll did pretty well, 539 votes. I'm happy with that, but I think we can do even better. This week, your options are Runaways number one, New Avengers number one, formerly New Thunderbolts. Robin and Batman, Jason Todd number one, and TMNT number nine. So some pretty big releases. I wanted every one of them to be on the show, but there just wasn't space, and so they've got to duke it out, and you guys have to decide which one wins. So get
What
on that.
what are we hoping for on this one?
Oh, Ramen Batman, Jason Todd, 100%.
Yeah, but it's Jason Todd. Yuck.
Yeah, but isn't it
I
kind
go ahead.
Dustin Win?
Yeah.
Yes. And Mark Wade,
Oh, come
right?
on. Come on.
Or am I bugging?
Jeff Lemire?
Lemire,
Oh,
yes.
come on.
Yep. I'm actually so I really love TMNT and I'm dying to read this issue, but I want to read Runaways, man. It's
Kind
not
of where
gonna
I'm
win.
leading. Yeah. Whoa, no, it's not. Jeez, Lou.
Yeah. No one is voting for that, but that's the book I would like to read.
The
Let's see.
audience is running away from that pick.
Holy shit. Get your votes in. Let us know what you want us to read as we move in to Absolute Green Lantern #3. This is written by Al Ewing with art and colors by Janoy Lindsay, letters by Lucas Catoni. This book, if you think about a snail moving and you think about watching that unfold, that is sort of how it feels to read this book month over month. I actually think this issue was fairly good. Um, but not a lot is happening. Most of the issue revolves around John Stewart trying to figure out what's going on with this barrier, this green barrier that surrounds this little town that they live in. And he can't, well, he sort of figures out that things that transmute to gold or perform the or functioning as gold, like it's a weird kind of thing what he explains. But we see that only so far, only things that are yellow have made it through the barrier. So I'm wondering if that's going to tie into like the weakness of the green is the yellow bit. But we learn a little bit more about the black hand that Hal is dealing with and things like that. But yeah, Cale, how are you feeling about this book?
Man, the you're absolutely right. The pacing of this one is absolutely killing me. Um, I like that. I like that John figures out uh the yellow of it all. I think that's interesting, and I think it's interesting the way he found out. Um, I just I wish more could have been done with that, and I wish it didn't take the whole issue.
They're on that for like 3, 4 pages at one point.
Oh, way more than that.
I feel like it's the meat of the book.
It's the issue.
So it's just, yeah, I guess just the ring, right? But
Yeah,
Because he throws two things. No, he throws three things through it.
yeah.
ring, that toy, and then the other ring.
Right.
Um,
And then he gets erased.
yeah, yo, shape deleted. Uh,
He got sent to the shadow realm.
it. Yeah, I'm not driving with this. I think similarly, it. Yes, it's going slow, but the other thing that for me is not driving all too much is the art. Um, it's still giving me those like webtoony vibes, and I don't want to say that to mean like uh to be diminishing or derogatory. But something about that art style is just it's not working for me. I can see that it's good. I just don't I don't appreciate it the same way. I don't think the blurred backgrounds like providing a bit of a lack of
Hmm.
structure, but insinuating that there's like environment. Um, some of the faces, it feels so digital. I don't know.
Dude, have you ever seen a human being with a face like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what is that?
I sort of feel like if there were more happening, the art would work better. I don't want to say it would be good. That's not what I mean, but I feel like it would work better because I think like when you get the little hints of it, like you know, uh Hal blasting Joe with the black hand or whatever. I think that page looks really good, and the coloring on that is explosive, and there's all sorts of stuff happening. And then when Abin Sur shows up, like that looks really cool. But when it's just these people standing around talking about the color yellow, which is what this issue is, it's not even about that. That's what this issue is. It's really hard to, I think, it's really hard for the style to convey things that are interesting.
I think that it's pretty clear that Janoy Lindsay was chosen to do the horror stuff, the cosmic
Yeah.
horror, crazy stuff. And we've seen it before when an artist who's really good at that doesn't get to do that for an extended period of time. It doesn't showcase their best strengths. I think of was it Zermanico or was it who was on John Stewart?
That's
The
exactly what I was thinking of. Montos.
Montos, thank you. Yes. When that series was going, one of the things that I felt, and I think we talked about, was that Montos was really great at doing the crazy horror stuff, but the facial work and some of that wasn't as strong. And I think that's what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Um, but I like this book. Like I like it. I'm interested. I'm intrigued by the mystery. I want to know what the hell is going on. Like, is Abin Sur really bad? I'm not so sure because John, when he gets shadow realmed, he doesn't look horrified. But that
Yeah.
could be because he's just like, yo, I want to see what's on the other side of this.
Word.
But I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead.
Yeah. I don't either.
But he seemed prepared for it almost like he's testing his theories out right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's figured it out.
Let me in on the secret, bro. I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure this shit out.
He said, "Sweet, take me."
I hate to be that guy, but I often am. At 4.99, I need you to tell me what the fuck is going on, man. Or at least give me a little bit more of a hint. Like I like mysteries, but nothing is happening.
Yep.
Especially if what we have now is talking heads, right? I need more of that, and I need more of the even the tension between Joe and Hal. I'm not like I'm also not understanding. Like we're getting to that point, but I feel like in addition to getting to that point, in those moments, we should be referencing back as well to like work backwards and work forward from two time frames. That makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, completely.
I also don't feel like I have a good enough handle on their relationships.
I thought Joe and John were previously married.
I don't think so.
I'm a little confused on that part too, and maybe I shouldn't be, but I think in this issue we learned that she has a girlfriend or she's
Yeah.
herself is
Right.
married or something of that nature. Not that that excludes her having been with John at a prior point. I just don't remember, but I think you might be correct.
I think she was engaged or was to be married to another woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, Entertainment with the $2. Thank you very much. Says, does Hal give anyone Yamcha vibes?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Um, I'm really sour though about the fact that Joe is not more centered. Like
Yeah.
it's starting to really stick in my craw.
But again, we're like still getting to that point, and that's the frustrating part. Because in the future, it's her and Hal, and we're seeing as the whole team kind of disappears. But I guess to that point, if we assume that John doesn't die, he's just in this other world, then they're all gonna come back. Does that then again diminish Joe's position if she at that point becomes the lead?
It's a good question.
I
And yeah,
I completely forgot we were dealing with flashbacks. That's a
Right.
whole other can of worms here that I completely forgot about.
And that's what's hurting the flow as well, is the fact that we do have to balance these two time frames.
Ugh.
Yeah. Despite
I,
everything we've said, I'm a pull.
I'm a pass. That fact sent me over the edge. Like
Shit.
I can't tell what's happening.
I'm a pass, and this book has been low. Last issue I loved, super high, and now I'm back down. Like I'm on a roller coaster right now. So past and I know. Ugh.
Did it work or didn't it?
No, this issue didn't.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bummer. Bummer. I mean, I'll say this. I think Hayden pointed it out earlier. I believe it was Hayden, and I tend to agree. I think this will work better in trade when you don't have to wait a month and you can just kind of get to the point of it. But issue over issue, month by month, I have to admit this is a little bit of a slog.
Yeah.
A little bit. 53% of you, excuse me, say pull. 29% didn't buy a read. 10% is pick of the week. 6% say pass. So still pretty strong numbers for this.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I think all of these books this week we've been a little more down on, and the crowd is pretty on top of it.
Fair play. I definitely didn't feel as strongly about this week as I thought like I would when we did Palace previews. I was like, oh my God, these books are
Yeah.
going to cook, but not quite. Not quite. Still some good comics, but I'm not as hot on this crop as I thought I would be.
Mm.
Rand said, "Where should Mirror Master show up in the Absolute Universe?" Well, we already got a tease of him in Absolute Flash, I think,
Yep. Yeah.
and then also in Absolute the Free Comic Book Day
Mm.
Absolute issue. So he's already here.
Flash makes the most sense.
Yeah,
Or Wonder Woman.
I would be into that. I would like to see Wonder Woman mix up with some different villains. I would really like to see that. Like how they're pairing off Superman with Ra's al Ghul, who don't go together typically.
Yeah.
I would like to see them do that for Wonder Woman.
I think she would feel more connected without crossing over. Like everything else feels like it could be roughly in the same world, but something about, and maybe it's Hayden on the art, but there's something about Absolute Wonder Woman that feels like it's something else.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Dex Baker with the 5 spot says Absolute Green Lantern still fascinates me, but I walk away still hungry. I can't tell if it's because I want to stay in the story or if it's because the story is too breezy.
It can't be because it's too breezy because there's no breeze. The air is not moving.
I think you're hungry, and that's a positive thing in a way, but only if that hunger is associated with good feelings. The opposite of that is frustration.
Mm,
And I'm teetering.
yeah. It's like think about the difference between Absolute Green Lantern number 3 and Absolute Flash number 3. Uh, you know, we have like even as like the Flash has been sort of in one spot, roughly like one scenario, it feels like stuff has happened.
It's fast.
Whereas
it's moving.
we still don't even know who these characters are in Green Lantern.
There's no concern to make them known either. They're just interacting and then getting offed.
Well, look, there is a cast difference, right? Absolute Flash has less characters that are the focus. Yes, the rogues are present, but they're not the focus of the story.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Al is having to balance multiple characters who need time that he's interested in giving time to. You got John. You got Joe. You have Hal. Previously, we had a guy who got offed. So there are multiple people that we're dealing with, and this is the only absolute book like that. So
I don't know because we haven't learned anything about any of them.
you're right. I don't disagree at all. Because on top of those things, we're also in the past and present.
Yeah.
And we have Abin Sur and what's going on with the bubble. So it's like you learn about John through how he tries to deal with and solve the problem. But we already know this is what John is like. So the maximum we've gotten of character development with John happened in the first issue, and we're still just extrapolating on that same beat.
Yeah.
Uh Aaron Ruiz says, I discovered that Ewing is in his weird phase. He's doing something super direct and old school with Venom, and there's Green Lantern clouded in mystery. I feel like all new Venom wasn't straightforward at all when it started because it was a mystery.
Drawn
Um,
out mystery.
yeah, 6 issues to tell me that Mary Jane is Venom. Fucking kill me now.
Uh,
And he's doing wacky stuff, or was doing wacky stuff with Metamorpho, so
Yep.
but nobody liked that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Al said, "Look at my new best friend, Metamorpho," and the audience said, "Oh, no, thank you."
Damn.
DC said canceled. Sorry.
So he was so excited for that book.
Yeah. Hey, not everything lands, but I'm glad he got to do it. I'm glad he got to do it. I'm glad he got to tell the story. Before we get into the
The two
stacks,
stacks, yeah.
yeah. Um, earlier it was brought up that there's a new Marvel video game coming out. And I figured we could chat about that for a few minutes. I don't know if Marco, did you said you saw the trailer, right?
I did.
Cool.
What?
Um,
Sorry, what is it? I'll look it up while we're
so
talking here.
yeah, it is called. I'm actually just looking in the Discord because
Where I saw it.
that's where I initially saw the announcement. It's called Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. And so the critical details are that it is being made by the same studio that made Dragon Ball Fighters, that recent Dragon Ball fighting game that blew up. It's going to be 4v4. It's coming next year and it's on PlayStation and PC.
God, nothing good comes to the Switch, dude.
No,
I'll get it in like
no.
7 years. It's okay.
Get it for PC.
Steam, probably, right?
Yeah,
Damn.
buy a controller.
Yo, this looks sick as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. The thing that sold me was the Japanese. Like it seemingly is all in Japanese. They're fighting there. Like I love when you kind of take that and add that flair, add that aesthetic. Plus you're just doing a side scroll fighting like that. Fun. That looks cool. The art looks smooth. The animations, everything.
Anyone who can hear me now, who is a fan of Marvel versus Capcom, is looking at this game and going, yo, this is everything we wanted Marvel versus Capcom to be in the modern era
Yep.
that we didn't get with Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. And it doesn't look like we're going to be getting a new Marvel versus Capcom for a long time, considering now they're partnering with Arc Systems. But this is what we wanted, that Capcom simply refused to give us for whatever reason. The cast is fire so far. We haven't seen everybody, but they went diverse with it. Like we got Ghost Rider, but it's the new Ghost Rider, which I like. Miss Marvel is here. This is her first time in a fighting game. Storm is here, so we're not doing that bullshit where there's no X-Men like they did with the last one. I really like the cast.
Star-Lord,
Star-Lord.
Doom. Wow.
Was Star-Lord in no, he wasn't in, I don't think he was in MVCI. So they showed us some new people. Doom better have foot dive though. They didn't show foot dive. If you make a fighting game with Doctor Doom in it and he cannot do a foot dive, I don't understand. You don't know ball. You just don't know ball.
This
But this game looks amazing.
this might be my foray into like side scrolling combo whatever because I'm a smash head. I like the thing that sells me is the mobility. I hate when it feels too clunky and I'm too close quarters. I like the separation. So this feels a lot more for that.
Have you ever played Marvel vs. Capcom?
No.
Oh,
Well,
so
actually, in the arcades.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
arcades.
they're fast. They're faster than Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And they require a lot of very split-second decision making, just like Smash Brothers does. But the thing you'll have to adjust to, I think, probably most is it's not as bouncy as Smash Brothers,
Mm.
but it's very, very combo based.
Yeah, the inputs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The inputs, exactly. It's a
Yeah.
more traditional fighting game in that regard.
Do you play with an arcade stick?
So I have for Street Fighter,
Yeah.
and I got adept at that, but I'd never done that for Marvel vs. Capcom outside of literally being at an arcade.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't go, you use a controller or a box otherwise.
Otherwise, I use a controller. I used to have a box though, and I used to use it. Um, did you ever go to Chinatown Fair? Well, you wouldn't have because you don't really play fighting games like that. Dude, oh, those were the days, bro.
Waypoint or in Brooklyn. I'm forgetting the name.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't remember
Right by
what
the
it's called
brewery
either.
and stuff.
Yep.
Ah, it's gonna kill me. I'm gonna look it up.
Dude, I used to pull up like this. This is how I used to pull up to Chinatown Fair and all those places with my quarters ready to throw down. That was a good time. Chat? How are you feeling about this game? Do you guys game? Are you into this?
John,
Super Jop says, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Brookland.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
Super Jop says Arc System Works have the dopest looking fighting games. Gray and Blue Fantasy versus Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Guilty Gear Strife, and now this looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Hey, Mike Hank, listen, bro. I'm sorry for your Knicks, but you, as a longtime Knicks fan, should already know the score. I don't understand why you Knicks fans, and I'm a New Yorker, but not a Knicks fan. I don't understand why you, Knicks fans, thought that anything other than this would happen. Because ultimately, the legacy of the Knicks is to be a disappointment. And this year, when they got to it's like the Century and the Void. They got to the highest high just to drop you off a fucking cliff right when you thought things were different. After that game one, you should have already known. Oh, the Knicks are back. You should have known. When my man Halliburton went like did the choke sign, you should have known it was over. That he snatched their souls out of their bodies in that moment. You should have known.
Rest in peace.
Done.
It was funny. I was away that weekend, and the silence that was heard in the city going into the city. That I was like, oh shit, okay, didn't happen, huh?
Oh yeah. I relished in it. Um Luna says MVCI had the problem of being too MCU heavy a roster. MCVI had the problem of coming out when Ike Perlmutter and Pettiness still ruled the day at Marvel. The roster of that game is a result of his desire to keep the Fantastic Four and the X-Men out of everything that Marvel put out. That's why it's the weakest roster in the history of Marvel fighting games. Sucked. Figure drawing said art games look dope, and fortunately, this game is not a clone of the other super pretty but lacking in gameplay offerings. The mechanics look rad. Did you feel like Dragon Ball Fighters was lacking? Because I'm not the biggest fan of those kinds of fighting games, but I thought it was pretty strong. I don't know. I don't know.
On Google Arc Systems. What is that?
They made Dragon Ball Fighters
Oh,
and
it's a
Guilty
like
Gear
a publisher.
developer.
A
Yeah.
developer.
Studio.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
hmm Chris asks us, did you see Marvel Legends series Gamerverse? Wolverine versus Marvel's Silver Samurai. Yeah, yeah. They showed these new toys, the Marvel Legends toys. They have these Marvel versus Capcom inspired toys that they're doing for the 25-year anniversary.
Oh, was this the
Yeah.
the one that had Psylocke and Thanos?
Yep.
Yeah. I saw those. Those were okay. Yeah.
They look sick. Uh and can we also acknowledge, as good as DC is doing in the comic space, what's up with the games? Where are they
Word.
at?
They've never been great with games.
They only had Batman. That was
Yeah.
really the only big thing they had.
Yep.
Like Injustice is fine. I'm not shitting. Marco, you ever play Injustice?
I've seen it.
Were you there when we played
Yeah.
it at Pete's house?
Oh, maybe you weren't one of those times.
No, I don't think so. I was there for a Smash night.
Okay, because it has Swamp Thing. So if you had
I
been
know.
there, you would
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
all over that.
I've seen gameplay. I've seen like tournaments and stuff.
So that's cool and all, but I want some motion. Like I want a game that looks pretty. I want to see Superman and Flash like just looking amazing in this kind of art style.
Yeah, yeah.
2D.
Because it always feels like they're like you get the like
Yeah. Yeah.
clunky.
Yeah. You like 2D or 3D more for fighting games?
I've the only 3D I've played is Naruto, Tekken. I liked Naruto. Naruto was good. Maybe a Dragon Ball here, like here or there. I personally like the 2D, but only because of the when it's like a mobility, like platform fighter like Smash, or the
Yeah.
oh damn, there's another one that I'm thinking of that's like indie. I'm forgetting the name of it, but I like those.
Yeah, well, you don't really jive on fighting games, right?
Not so much, but when I have played, the 2D ones are more my speed.
Mm. I'm a 2D guy. I love 2D. Frankly, I think gaming in general needs to take another stab at 2D. Because like Hollow Knight was great. Metroid, the most recent Metroid game was great.
Dread. Dread. Yeah.
Dread, thank you. Like a lot of these games look really amazing.
I think that's my big criticism for Pokemon right now is they're going too heavy into making everything 3D animation. They really need to go uh backward.
Yep, I agree. I completely agree. Silk Song any day now. Yeah, that's it. Soon, TM.
Bro, let them do whatever they gotta do. Let them finish it. I've told myself I'm taking that week off so I can immediately put forward for like 40 hours into it.
I feel you.
I love Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
It's taking too long, man. I mean, totally, take your time, but gosh, it's been a minute.
Like they shouldn't have announced it when they did.
Dude,
Right,
not at all.
right. All right, let's get into the stack. You guys know the drill by now. We do this segment because I buy a lot of comics every week, probably too many, and I need to cut back. And you guys are supposed to be helping me with that, but it hasn't been really going that way most recently. And this week I just had to look at the bill and say, what is going on? Like I need to make changes. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna drop. I gotta drop comics. It's not working for me anymore. So get those numbers in. Let's see what you guys have to say.
I scrolling through to get to Sean's stack. and I'm scrolling through, and I realized that Tyler put extra images
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
meme images in particular. I just
Yeah, of
put up.
course.
Hold on, I just went through the the Ryan Gosling, the ah damn
The white
goofed.
Black Panther.
Yeah, dude, so funny.
See, that's one great thing, you always gotta recognize people's strengths. And one of Tyler's biggest strengths is he will bring that joke. And if it's planned in advance like that, he always nails it. Oh, always nails it. Because that's funny. That Ryan Gosling picture right there is fucking hilarious. It's good stuff. I want to get Sparking Zero, says Near. Oh, that's right. Sparking Zero. Yeah. That was good too.
You ever play Ori?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Oh
I couldn't finish Ori
no,
because I got it on the Switch, right?
Yeah.
And the you have to do a crazy combination of things in the final boss. And like I physically could not make this combination of things happen to beat the boss. Like, and I mean, I've played through the game. I'm like at the top of my skills as far as, and which granted, that peak ain't high. But I've been playing, I'm going, and I physically could not make it happen. And I had to just be like, look, the time I'm putting into this and the time I'm dying, this is not worth it. I guess I'm done.
damn. The second one's a lot of fun too.
Is that the Will of the Wisps?
They're named. I forget. Maybe.
I think that's the
Yeah,
one I played.
because it's a blind forest and then Will of the Wisps. Yeah,
Yeah.
What kind of game is this again?
the side scroller. It's like a Hollow Knight, but it's
Oh,
like
It's a
acrobatics kind of based.
Metroidvania, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I love those
Very
things.
cool.
Blasphemous.
Play Hades at all?
No, that's the only one I haven't.
80s fucking rules.
Yeah.
God, I love 80s.
I gotta jump into that. It's on my list. Right now I'm on an RPG kick, but whenever that ends, I'm gonna jump into Hades.
When I cannot wait for Hades 2 to be finished. And I kind of wish I've been playing Hades 2 because they've had like the development like open and like the beta testing and everything like you can see.
Oh,
And so like you can see like characters as they evolve from like initial sketches to like placeholders to and it's just some of the stuff I'm hearing is like incredible.
because I was thinking, wait, isn't Hades 2 already out? But that's why I
Yeah.
thought it was out.
Yeah.
Because people, yeah, that's cool. I like that. Orubero Snake says, I wish old Pokemon games were on the Nintendo Store. What do you mean? They're not?
Nah, dog.
What?
No, yeah,
Nah,
you
dog.
can't. Only the Switch ones.
Yep.
What?
Oh yeah.
Are we tired of Nintendo already or what?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I gotta pay more to get the Game Boy, the Game Boy whatever online. Not at the right tier,
And you don't even get Pokemon.
and you don't even get Pokemon. Oh, but I want to play Was it Wario Land?
Yeah,
Wario World
that's fun.
3?
That one was fun. Yeah.
That company is crazy. You guys see the story about the store in Staten Island that was puncturing the Nintendo Switches with the staples?
Wait, what?
No.
So the Switch 2 just came out, right? And for their pre-orders, GameStop received the Switches and then they stapled the receipt onto the Switch box, the Switch 2 box. But apparently there's so little space between the box and the actual console that when they were stapling the receipts to the boxes, they were stapling them onto the fucking screen of the actual Switch.
Oh my
So
god.
over 100 people out of Staten Island have Switches that have a staple hole in them.
Crusty Staten Island, bro. That's crazy.
Holy
It would happen
shit,
in Staten
dude.
Island, right?
my cousin, I was messaging him today on Instagram because he put up a picture of he got a Switch. I'm like, yo, congrats, that's crazy. He's like, yeah, dude, I went out for a morning jog. I saw a line outside of a store. I said, oh, that's right, that comes out today. So he went to wait in line before he had to start work. He had the
Can you
time.
can you fucking imagine? Oh, a line to drop? How much and how much is it there now? $800?
500.
Oh, it's only five.
Yeah,
Can you imagine being at that spot in your life?
yeah.
And then, can you imagine waiting in line, paying 500, and then there's a staple in your shit?
Fuck out of here. Nah.
Tuh. Yeah, okay. There's gonna be a stack of bodies. You want to talk about a stack?
Yeah.
You better not staple my fucking Switch 2. That's insane. Oh man. All right. Cale, why don't you take it away? Let's get to these numbers.
All right. So coming in hot. First thing is Rami Darwish with 17. Near pretty far away is 14 for the stack. Perennial winner James Jones coming in at 16. Luna says 20. Hayden's Hideout says 18. Roger Hernandez says 15. Entertain Me says 17. MX Mothman says 27. Chris says he dropped 3 from his pull list, but listen, this isn't about you, Chris. Jay Quirk says 21. Ted, with the vote of absolutely no confidence, said 44. Hole says 15. CW Gordon says 16. DeWoody says 22 for $1,000, please. Mike Hank says 17. That's it.
All right, very good. And please remind me, DeWoody, you said something earlier that I wanted to address, but I completely forgot what it was. Something about being a new comics reader. If you could remember what you said and say it again in the chat, I would love to respond to it, DeWoody. So we've got the 6 that we reviewed already. Be Not Afraid. I picked this one up
Oh,
because of
yeah.
Marco's push for this on Pal's previews.
Oh, the place I went to didn't have it. I'm
Ah,
mad.
see?
Well,
My LCS is good for something.
to be fair, I went to a different spot, so that's what I
Okay,
get for
all right.
changing. That's what I get for changing my spot.
Well, we got to talk about your experience at that store after we finish this up. JSA number 8 by our boy Gavin Guidry. Get out and support this one.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had the chance to read it, but I will. We've got Kaya here as well. Love this book. The Moon is Following Us, number 10. Sad to see this go. Ghost Rider versus Galactus. I told you guys I would be buying this. I can't wait to get into it. The Immortal Thor 24, one away from the death of Thor. I wonder how long he'll stay dead this time. Storm number 9. This book's been great. Ultimate Wolverine number 6. Seeing a lot of praise for this today. And Birds of Prey number 22. That's all.
That's it? That's only 15.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't too bad. The prices were insane.
That's what I was gonna say. What was that bill?
70 after my discount.
Oh wow,
my
okay.
$10 off.
Yeah.
But if you look at it today, right? Like the whole main show was all $4.99 or more.
Mm.
Ultimate Spider-Man $5.99, Imperial $6.99. So some really hefty priced books. They got to get this shit under control. It's getting bad.
That's Roger Hernandez with the win on that one.
I don't know what the fuck happened, dude. I looked through. I probably walked the aisles of my LCS 4 times looking to make sure that I got everything. And I did not see Resurrection Man. I didn't. I don't know how I missed it. I'm pissed.
Roger says it got delayed.
Yes. I mean, I'm not happy about that, but I'm happy that I didn't miss it. That sucks.
Looking forward to that one.
Roger won, you said, right?
Yep.
Well, Roger, if you want the code for any of these books, please feel free to reach out. Oh, Cole says he got Resurrection Man on digital
That
this
makes
week. Okay.
sense.
Huh.
CW Gordon, remember when Marvel said that their standard price would be $3.99? Yeah, we told you guys then. We told you then. Dan Buckley's not lying. He's just not telling you that most of their output going forward is going to be the exact books that won't be $3.99.
Yep.
It's horseshit.
He does said.
So yeah, Marco, what about you, man? You went to a new shop this week. What was the experience like?
I went to Grasshoppers Comics in Long Island. I was there for unassociated things, but I figured, hey, it's close to where I need to go. It's a 6 minute drive, so let me go check it out. Got all the books read for the show and mentioned earlier, but also I got, and this one I shouted out on one of the Pals previews a few weeks back, but this is Polis. This is Mark Russell and Lacey, as well as Marco Lesko. This is AWA, part of a new kind of universe that they're building out. So I try to support both Mark Russell and AWA because I like the work that they do. This is the Protopias collection. I also got, because I didn't get it in physical, JSA number 7, JSA number 8, which I'll be reading, and I got the variant over here.
Ooh,
It's cool. More
That's
cartoony.
the main cover.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I thought I got the variant.
Nah, dog.
Well,
did you pull a me? Did you grab the behind copy and it was a different cover completely?
I did. I thought this was well, this is Michael Cho. I guess that's the main cover then. All right.
Yeah, because I don't think there's a Gavin variant for this set of issues.
Damn. All right. Well,
The one I'm hoping to get is a yellow wildcat
oh.
cover. I want to say it's Jorge Corona.
I like how people are shouting out my stuff now. Marco's Mound, Marco's Muckhole,
Yuck.
and then I got
Nasty.
Moonstruck, volumes 2 and 3. My girlfriend got into this one, so I actually found volume 2 and 3, and it's a cutesy little like love story published by Image. So yeah, magic and whatnot, cutesy art. I'm gonna have to take a stab at reading this one as well by Grace Ellis and Shay Beagle.
Hmm. Nice.
Wait, actually,
That's the difference between our stacks. You will buy like like non single issues. You never know what could appear in your stack.
yeah. I got 5 plus 6, 11. That's CW Gordon
CW Gordon.
and for Marco's Mags.
There you go.
Let me know if you want those Marvel codes. I'll pass them out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Perennial winner James Jones gonna have to adjust his strategy for Marco.
What's going on there, James? Slacking, brother, man.
Ooh, actually, I'll shout this book out. I didn't buy it, but I am in the middle of reading it. I'll shout this out. Pals previews. Tune in for that one for this upcoming one.
Very good. All right. Mike Hanks says, Sean, are you able to read the Storm issue yet? I recently read God, so I'm trying to figure out how Oblivion got dirty, got done dirty at the recent issue ending. I have not read it yet, so I cannot answer your question. But if you show up on Saturday and you ask me again, I will be able to answer you. All right, all right. We put in our 2.5 hours. I think we've done good for you guys, right? Look, first of all, smash the like button if
Smash
you
it.
haven't. Subscribe if you're not. If you enjoyed what we did today, if you had a good time, make sure that you Roger, yes, we have read Black Sad. We did a whole book club on it, in fact.
Uh, yeah, Marco and I are massive fans.
Yeah, good stuff.
It was really good. Really good. All right, there we go, Dawudi. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was waiting on, or I forgot. About what I said earlier, I think it was something along the line of recognizing my naivete as a new reader of comics, how I seem to like everything I pick up so far. I really wanted to quickly tackle that because I love when new readers speak up and talk about their experience. And I think about when I was a new reader and like everything is so new and fresh. You don't have that jadedness yet of like, I've seen that before, I've been down that rodeo. And there is something that happens when you have that experience that kind of robs you of the wonder of new that I do miss on some level. Like you get it every now and again, but by and large, you're just looking at different ways to tell the same stories. And sometimes not even different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting to sort of make that transition of, oh, this is all new. It's all amazing and brilliant. And then kind of slowly start to realize, oh, I'm seeing the same things over and over and over again.
And it's something that new fans can't quite understand yet. So whenever you're hearing a comic book YouTuber or even just your friend or whatever saying like, "Oh man, I've seen this before," it's probably because they actually have.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they don't love comics anymore or whatever. But like if you went to see a movie and it was the same plot structure as like dozens of other movies you've seen, even if that didn't bother you, you'll notice it if you're discerning, if you pay attention, you know.
And I think because you're new, you're also like it is also helping form the things that you like. It is giving you that knowledge to be like, oh, this is fun, and so because it's fun, I tend to like this more, and then you start exploring more of those things. And I think this happens a lot for superhero comics, and I'm starting to experience that because I've been through the podcast. I'm experiencing so much of it, more so than I was previously, and the book clubs that we go backwards to. But you start to see it in other things, horror comics. I'm a huge fan of horror comics, but I've consumed so many that I've started to see it there. The sci-fi of Image comics, like there are themes, but I think it's about discerning where that thing still surprises you. That's the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen always as often, but I still have a good time.
There are writers that are doing that for sure. They're like Rom V, we always mention him. He's a writer that's doing that. And that's what makes certain people so exciting. And when we rave about how talented certain people are, it's because after reading comics for 20 years, you're looking for that freshness, and Rom is one of the ones who is providing that. Um, King Taichi says, "What do you think about new readers who start claiming they are jaded just after a couple of books?" I haven't experienced that necessarily. I can think of certain new readers on our Discord who frankly speak with a lot more like authority and knowledge than I would expect a new reader to speak with. Um, and I don't know if it's jaded, but it's more like I know everything. And it's like, well, you really don't. You really don't. Like, it's okay. I know you've watched a lot of YouTube videos and whatnot, but that's not the same thing. I love Rob from Comics Explained. Watching Rob's videos is not the same thing as reading the comics that Rob is talking about. And I say that with all love and respect to him and his hustle. It's not the same.
And if it's only after a couple of comics, like then I challenge you to expand your palette. Whatever you're reading, you haven't read enough of things that are so different from the things you're already consuming.
Branch out. Branch
Something
out.
weird.
I definitely have through this podcast more than anything else experienced comics that I wouldn't have before. And it makes me better as a reader, as a podcaster, as a human. You know, like reading Spinning by Tilly Walden never would have been on my radar, but I loved it. So, all right. We should actually get out of here now. Thank you guys so much. You've been amazing, amazing, amazing. Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us. It's going to be a great time as always. We'll see you then.
See you next week.